West Dennis Public Library, and I'm talking with Stephen Marini, who's an author. So now you know what an author looks like.
Absolutely. Let me ask you some questions, John. When you're reading, do you like a stand-up guy who won't back down?
I like a stand-up guy that won't back down because I am that person, Steve. I am that guy.
And do you like the fight of good versus evil?
Oh, it's the basis of every good story, right?
And lastly, do you like characters like a woman with some mystery?
That's called marriage.
And sometimes a double life. Well, you got them all. All the elements are right here.
Wait, you got a trilogy in one book, Stephen.
Yeah, so far. And this is following the law enforcement career of a guy named Jack Contino.
Tell us the title of the book.
The title is Connections. And it's because Jack has to follow the trail of evidence after a mob massacre takes place, and nothing seems right. So,
and there's no such thing as mob massacres in Boston.
Oh heavens, no! But
we're adding a little bit of nonfiction into fiction here, right?
Because of what's going on in town right now. But yeah, Jack is based on a real life cop whom I read about, and I set it in the 1970s. Which was a comfortable time for me. I used to live in Boston in that time frame, or in the area, and so Connections follows this story of Jack plus a young woman named Maria who leads a double life, and an up-and-coming mob guy named Ben Saccani, and somehow Jack has to put this all together and find out who committed this mob massacre that takes place early on in the book. And then Jack wants to kind of
so now we segue into book 2 here. Jack, he moves from the Cape, from Boston to the Cape. Not many people do that, by the way.
But Jack was he's going to make it like Jessica Fletcher, you know, and Murder, She Wrote, that this peaceful, sleepy little town in Maine where people were dying all the time. Yeah. So Jack, or
at least on every night, Sunday night at 8.
And Jack wants to lead life in the slow lane, but murder gets in the way. And then he also runs into some trouble with what looks like a white supremacist group, and again the Boston mob guys. They've got it in for him, so he's watching his back on two fronts, and it's a very exciting ending that a lot of people will talk about.
We can't talk about the ending right now.
And I have had the good fortune, as it is seen on the back of the book, which you folks can't see. I did get Jordan Rich on WBZ Radio to read it and review it. He made a comment on it, and I was on his call-in radio talk show back in May.
Great. Super. So, again, give us those 2 titles and where people can reach them, get them online, or as well as local bookstores.
Right. The first book is called Connections. The second one is called Aberration, and they're ebooks and print-on-demand paperback, if you would like to get that. You can get them through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, all of those usual distributors. And on the Cape, I've got them on consignment in the Brewster Bookstore, Titcomb's in Sandwich, and Books by the Sea in Osterville.
So if people search by your last name, spell your last name, Stephen.
Yes, it's Marini. And if you're searching online, use the full name, Stephen with a V, middle initial P. The reason I say that is because people have told me they've searched for Steve Marini and they can't find it. So my full pen name is Stephen P. Marini. So when you type that in, make sure you get the middle initial.
And that's the story from the author from West Dennis Public Library. It's John DiPietro along with the alleged Stephen Marini. Have a great day, everybody.